Welcome back to Hong Kong Direct. Don't forget you can check out our sister show, that is Racing to Win. That has all the information coming up about Sunday's meeting at Sharjah, a 10-race program. You can head to the website, hkjc.com, follow the links down to the audio and video section, click on Racing to Win. You can watch the main show where we dissect two of the main races coming up and an in-depth preview of each and every other race on the undercard. That is Racing to Win on the website, hkjc.com. Now, in recent weeks here in Hong Kong, we've seen plenty of big names on the retirement list, Exultant and Time Warp, and also we're going back to earlier in the season, Beauty Generation was retired and he went off to a nice home down at Living Legends in Melbourne, Australia. But there's also another retirement avenue for horses here in Hong Kong that can be sent overseas, rehomed, retrained and off to a successful and healthy career off the track here in Hong Kong. Andrew Lejeune recently caught up with Amy Taylor from the retirement scheme ITR to find out a little bit more about the role her organisation plays.
Amy, thanks for your time today. Before we get into it in terms of what you're actually doing, ITR, give us an overview. What does it actually mean and what are you trying to achieve with it all?
Basically, it's an adoption program for racehorses, and what we're trying to do is make that process of going from racehorse to retired horse a lot easier for the horse and for the owners as well. It's a new concept. Basically, we take the horses on and we rehabilitate them, retrain them, and then rehome them through a series of different processes.
So how does it work then, the process in terms of when a horse is retired? Are you finding now that owners and trainers are coming to you or are you approaching them?
Well, they're coming to me now. In the beginning, it was a lot of word of mouth. I had some great friends. I met Ian Sham as well, and he's been a really big supporter of ours. David Ferraris, he actually helped us get a lot of horses in the beginning, and you know he's as passionate about the horses as we are, and seeing them going on, having great lives off the track. So. That was a big help in the beginning. And then once the ball got rolling a little bit and a little bit more publicity, and we started to have owners talk to their friends, and then that was the type of emails I was getting as my friend's got a horse in your program, we'd like to do the same. So it was great.
And the owners are subsidising this as well, which is fantastic, finding them a life after racing. So when a horse arrives with you out of a racing stable, what is the process? I know it's a long process, but if you could for us, how do you actually go about retraining a racehorse?
It's so we had to split it up into two sections. So we have some that are in a rehabilitation program, some that are in a retraining process. So we contract professional retrainers in New Zealand and Australia, and they basically help us determine what the horse is going to be suitable for, which helps us tailor a program to that horse's individual needs. So the rehabilitation horses are basically ones that have got either significant veterinary history or something along those lines that just means they'll be suitable for pleasure riding or just full paddock retirement. And then our retraining horses can basically, they get off the plane out of quarantine, and we can give them a little bit of downtime, and then they start from scratch. You're really, because of the way the people you're dealing with, the new homes that they're going to go to, you really have to bring the horse back to reality a little bit. It's such a different world here. They're exposed to a lot, which actually is a massive benefit. But once they've sort of completed that retraining or rehab period, we then start the adoption process. So it's a lot of social media. People have to apply, and they have to have obviously horse knowledge, experience with thoroughbreds, and we want it to be a lifelong home.
So having a look through the website, some of the old names, there are some very familiar names on there as well, like Not Listening to Me, New Asia Sunrise, Thinking Big as well. So you've got some, real old stars you've got in the program.
Yeah, we do. New Asia Sunrise, he is probably, if you could say a pony club type horse, he is just the best we've ever had, really. he came with some issues, and we knew that he was never going to be a competition type horse. And those ones are always harder to find the homes for, but we were just really lucky, actually. We matched him up with a perfect woman in New Zealand, and he's pretty much seen more of New Zealand than I have. He goes to the beach, he hacks along the mountains. He's a really, really spoiled, very lucky horse. And thinking big, obviously he's relatively new to our program. He's only not long retired. He's a horse that's really caught my eye. I love to have an off-the-tracker.
Right. There's a couple of names on there as well, some real characters. The Sylph, who was always a bit of a handful on the racecourse. And the other one that caught my eye was Literature. Richard Gibson. He had a good record around Happy Valley, but he could get really fierce and really take hold and take charge in his races sometimes. So how do you take a horse like that and make it, a safe riding horse for someone out in the community?
It's funny you say that, because we've got a few that have come into the program, and I've had some pretty shocking reports from work riders, and so be very careful. I think the downtime really helps them with the change of environment. It makes a big difference. We rarely get one that's come with one of those type of reports and it's been exactly what they've said. So a perfect one actually is the same from Richard Gibson's stable, Sunshine Universe. He was the same, and even the vets said he wasn't lovely to deal with. So like Literature, we just brought them back to basics, gave them plenty of paddock time, and he's pretty much the same as New Asia Sunrise. He's on the hunt fields and chasing the dogs and the hares around New Zealand. So it's great and with a 66-year-old woman on him. Wow. So they're the ones. I love those stories because sometimes it's a backflip on what they were on the racetrack.
Great insight there with Amy Taylor touching on the international retirement scheme there that her organisation provides. So let's have a look at what we've got coming up here in Hong Kong over the next couple of weeks as we count down to the season finale. We've got Sha Tin racing on Sunday, 12:30 start time on air with a 1 o'clock start. We're back at Happy Valley for the second last meeting at Happy Valley coming up there next Wednesday night, a 9-race program, and then the season finale coming up at Sha Tin next Sunday, a big 11-race program. So it'll be an earlier start time there before we head back to Happy Valley for the final meeting of the season. Racing at Sha Tin Sunday, the main race comes up as race number 9, and David Hayes has his promising galloper Master Montaro engaged in the contest.
David, Master Montaro, you must have been much happier with the way he jumped last time.
He jumped well, and it was not a fast run race, but he still was able to run sizzling sectionals the last 400 and just missed. So if the tempo's a bit stronger in this race, he'll be coming hard late for sure.
Is he start something you have been working on in track work?
I just think he's a big horse that takes a while to gather, so that's the way he is. So I'm just accepting it now.
You've tinkered with the distances back to 1,000, 1,400 again this week. What is his best distance?
I think 14. A fresh 1,200 and 14 is ideal.
And the 2-week backup's no issue with him?
Should be fine. He's eaten all the food and he's nice and relaxed, and I think he'll handle it easy.
David Hayes touching on Master Montaro in race number 9 coming up at Sha Tin on Sunday. As we leave you here for this week on Hong Kong Direct, Time Warp has been recently retired. He heads off to a new home, and what a horse he was, Time Warp. He was a 3-time Group 1 winner, a 2-time winner of the City Hong Kong Gold Cup, and that was his last win going back to last season of 2020 when he was able to prevail at the hands of Joao Moreira for Tony Cruz, the 3-time Group 1 winner with the 7 wins under his belt from 44 starts and just shy of 40 million in prize money.
Time Warp, at his usual customary role as the leader, by 2 lengths on Southern Legend and Dark Dream. A length and a half back to Dr. Jeff, Citron Spirit, 1.5 Eagle Way. 2 lengths Exalted, he's beyond midfield at the 800 metres. Followed by Ho Ho Khan, Furore, 2 lengths away, Glorious Dragon, and Northern Superstar last, 23.38. So starting to click it up now is Time Warp. Leads a length on Southern Legend, Dark Dream, Dr. Jeff, Eagle Way, Citron Spirit. 2 lengths away is Exalted. Exalted. Purton's got the Persuader out on him from Furore. Then came Ho Ho Khan, Glorious Dragon, and Northern Superstar. 300 to go. Time Warp leading here a length and a half on Southern Legend, Dr. Jeff, Citron Spirit, Dark Dream, Eagle Way, Exalted. Still got 5 to make up here on Time Warp. Who's kicking? Citron Spirit, Exalted, and Eagle Way coming. Ho Ho Khan. Time Warp. What a gem of a ride from Moreira. Time Warp takes out the City Hong Kong Gold Cup. Oh, what a win.